Next up on Man vs Pixels, I've been playing Doom Eternal. Now, Doom Eternal is first-person shooter. If you don't know that, then you need edumacating, son. First-person shooter by the king of first-person shooters, the originators of the genre, id Software. It's just out this week or last week. That's like March 2020. Full price game, $44.99. So let's get into it. Doom Eternal is a magnificent first person shooter. It is absolutely stunningly good. So that's the review could end right there. You know, that's all you need to say. It is excellent. It's stuck to its roots. It hasn't tried to be something it's not. It's got a really nice sort of old school look to it, but it's got some modern stuff as well that keeps it, you know, in line with what you expect from a game in the 2020s. When you first start it up, this is the only downside I had with it really. It's not really anything wrong with the game, but it requires a Bethesda.net account right from the start. Bethesda are the publishers. As soon as you start it up, it requires you to log into or create a Bethesda.net account. You can't get any further than that screen without doing it. Utter pain in the arse, completely obnoxious and unnecessary. If you didn't buy it through Bethesda's like game store, game launcher, if you bought it through Steam or somewhere else, just to go through, it's a pain in the arse if you haven't got the account to do it, and can be a pain in the arse even if you have, because it doesn't let you paste your password. Now my passwords are all done by a password manager, so they're all incredibly long and complicated passwords, but I don't have to remember them because the password manager usually fills them in. But in situations like this where the password manager won't fill it in a game, usually I'd just copy it from the password manager and then Control V in the password box in the game or app or wherever it is. But this wouldn't let you Control V, wouldn't do anything even after I'd copied it, so I had to actually show it in my password manager and type in like a 12 character password full of characters and symbols and whatnot. So that was a pain, and the whole Bethesda.net account thing was a pain. So that was my only gripe about it. I'll get that out of the way now. Fucking Bethesda shitting over a perfectly, you know, good experience otherwise. So on to the actual game. The combat is absolutely totally satisfying and badass and tough as well. It's demanding. It's not easy. It doesn't handhold you. It doesn't let you get through the fights by just doing whatever you want and running around using whatever weapon you want. You've got to constantly be moving, using the environment to avoid attacks and get angles on the enemies, and you absolutely have to use the right tools at the right time and what's available to you. This usually comes in the way of like replenishing your health, replenishing your ammo and your armor. And there are certain ways to do this. If you played the reboot of Doom from a few years ago, you know you get the chainsaw and the glory kills. Well, killing a demon and you get like the mincy demons, they call them the fodder demons. These are the ones you have to use. By chainsawing one of them, it just explodes in ammunition. That's how you replenish your ammo. You chainsaw one of the fodder demons and it's like an ammunition pinata. It all explodes like neon confetti out of this thing, and you pick up loads of ammo from it. To replenish your health, you have to use glory kills. Glory kills are when you get an enemy down to a low state of health, it starts flashing, and then you can use a melee attack to do a glory kill, which is like a set animation for a different animation for each enemy, and that replenishes health. That releases some health confetti. And To replenish your armor, you have a little flamethrower. It doesn't really do any damage, but you set enemies on fire, and when you shoot and kill enemies that are on fire, they release armor shards. So you've got to go through that like combat loop while you're in a big fight, otherwise you'll run out of health and you'll run out of ammo. Armor, yeah, it's helpful, but you've got to focus on health and ammo. So you've got to use those tools, and this is the whole thing about the combat in the game. You can have a massive arena with loads of big demons in it, but there's also going to be constantly respawning smaller fodder demons, and they're there basically for you to replenish your health and armor. You don't want to kill them normally. You don't just want to jib them like instantly with the rocket launcher or a more powerful weapon. You want to leave them alive until you need to kill them, because you need to replenish your health or ammo. So you focus on the big demons, and if you take a few hits, you're low on health, you've got to go run around, find a fodder demon, shoot it a couple of times with a less powerful weapon. I was like aiming at their feet and stuff, because sometimes you accidentally kill them before they go into that flashing state. So you just got to time that right, get that right, kill them with hit them with a few shots, and then get in, do the glory kill, replenish your health. Or your chainsaw has fuel, and the fuel always replenishes after a while. You always get 1 unit of fuel after a while at least, so you've always got the opportunity to chainsaw an enemy within sort of 30 seconds of doing the last one. So you've got to plan. You've got to look at like how your ammo's going, how your health's going, keep those fodder demons alive, replenish your health and ammo, and then go after the big demons. And there's a lot of different big demons. They all have different weak spots. You've got to know their weak spots, because if you're just trying to shoot them, ooh, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have a hard time. You've got to know each demon's weak spot, what each demon's going to do as well, because some will stay at range, some will charge you, some will shoot you a bit and then charge you, or do a massive AoE attack if you get too close. You've got to know what they do and where their weak spots are. The combat is challenging, and once you've worked it out, you do feel really, really badass doing it. There's some really cool moments. I'm sure there's going to be loads of clips online of people clearing these big rooms of demons, and you have a good time. The combat is a good time. And the weapons are old school, big, chunky, powerful weapons. They all do something useful. They all can be used for specific situations on specific demons. The demons themselves, they are all dangerous. Even the little fodder demons, they can all kill you if you just stand there and let them shoot. You've got to constantly move around them. You've got to constantly use the environment and their weak spots. You've got to deal with them correctly. Like I said, just shooting at them blindly, mindlessly is not going to work. There's good variation both in the way they attack, the way their weak spots are, and the way they look as well. Fantastic design on all the demons. The boss fights are pretty epic. There's a few big boss fights. The end boss fight is massive. Really good boss fights, and again challenging, but not like a pain in the ass challenging. You know, you get to see what you've got to do, and it's just a matter of doing it. The environments look fantastic, really well designed layouts and maps. The way it works usually is you move around through the environment, and you find you'll get to like a big room where you're going to have a massive fight with a load of demons, and you move through the environment to another sort of big arena where you can have another massive fight. Everything looks fantastic in it. There's some really bizarre looking things to find, or just like cages of bodies, or bits sticking out the walls and stuff. The skies look excellent. It's a gruesome environment, and really well done. There's also some quite challenging platforming bits as well, just to progress through the normal environment, just to get from one spot to another. There's a few challenging bits where you got to do some jumps, some dashes, hit the right spot, and then climb a wall and do some jumps again. And maybe sometimes there's bits that are timed where a door will only stay open for a certain amount of time. You've got to jump, swing, dash, and get through it in that time. Some of it's quite challenging, and you might die a few times until you work out what to do. And that's just, like I said, to get through the environment normally. The secret places in the environments can be really tricky. You'll see somewhere, either you'll see something that you can get to, like a question mark or a power up, and you'll think, oh, how do I get there? And I was scratching my head for minutes sometimes, 5 minutes I was running around, and a lot of them I gave up on. I was like, I can't work out how to get there. I can't see. Some of it is like you see it and then you have to progress forwards to actually come back to it. Then you can get to it. But there's a lot of stuff I left on the maps because I just couldn't figure out how to get to it. The secret locations can be very tricky indeed. All worth getting as well if you can figure it out, because all the power-ups you get from it, the upgrade system is fairly extensive. It's like weapons, armor, and your health and ammo capacity all can be upgraded, so it's worth finding these things if you can get them. A lot of them are just in the normal progression as you go through the map, not too hard to find, but some of the tricky ones are worth finding if you can, definitely. And there's stuff in your base as well. You've got this Fortress of Doom that you return to between a lot of missions, and you can unlock stuff in there as well. So all worth doing, all makes your character better, all makes the business of fragging demons simpler. So once you've finished it, there's plenty of replay available. You can redo missions again at any time. Once you've completed them, you can redo it immediately if you want to, and try and find those things you missed. Just play through it again just to kill more demons, because it all goes to your progression. It is like your character does level up, and you get things like skins and that are more useful for the multiplayer, but we'll get to that. There's master missions that come. I think they release those as and when they decide to. These are missions that are harder, like a mission that from the campaign, but just with harder enemies, and I'm not really sure what else, but that's there to play as well. And then there's the multiplayer, an interesting multiplayer. It's asymmetric. You play, or the game is one Doom Slayer versus 2 demons. So it's a 3-player multiplayer game. Two of you will play demons, one of you will play the Doom Slayer. You can let it assign you randomly, or you can pick which you'd rather play when you start joining the game. I only had one game. One game consists of 3 rounds. So the 2 players playing the demon have to kill the Doom Slayer, and the Doom Slayer has to kill the 2 demons. I can't really talk to how well it's balanced. I was the Doom Slayer in the game I played. I kind of felt, I don't know, well, it's my first game. I'm not going to say how well balanced it is, because I can't really comment on just one round. But I think the Doom Slayer does more damage and maybe has more health, and he has all his weapons available to him, whereas the demons, I think maybe they're certainly not the bullet sponges that the demons are in the game, and they have certain set abilities that are used on cooldowns. So it's an interesting multiplayer. It's probably worth a closer look, probably worth getting a few hours in on that to really comment on it fully, but it definitely looked interesting and worth investing some time in. So overall, I'd say absolutely brilliant, definite recommend purchase, full price purchase, no doubt. It's worth the full price. I completed the main campaign in about 23 hours without doing, I think I replayed one mission again from at the very start just to go through it again, see what was what, but I didn't really do much other replaying other than that. So 23 hours for the main campaign on like the on a regular normal Hurt Me Plenty, I think they called it, the difficulty level. And so plenty more left. I'm going to leave it installed, have a look at the multiplayer in a little while. So old school feel, modern design, absolutely brilliant. That was Doom Eternal. Thanks for watching.